Let's tie a lanyard. What's up, guys? It's Joe with Hendo Daily, and we are just out here in the garage. I don't know, enjoying a Friday night, not doing anything too crazy. I'm not a big go outer and partier, and I like to spend my Friday nights quiet at home, doing things that I like to do. And so that's why right now we're working on a simple snake knot lanyard for my Kaiser muskrat. And something that's really been on my mind is ever since my trip up to GP Knives with my brother, I have not stopped thinking about one, that Kaiser, or sorry, not Kaiser, I'm working on my Kaiser, that Kershaw Bel Air, the clip point with the micarta scales, absolutely beautiful, magna cut steel. 100% I am going back for that for my next knife purchase in February. I will be going back there. Hopefully I'll be back there before then, but for my next knife purchase will be the February time frame. And the other one I've been looking at, or looked at a lot since we were up there, was also a Kershaw, the Launch 21 with the drop point M4 steel. Essentially, from the videos I've seen and the research I've done, it was essentially the Launch 16, just with the blade shape that all the fans and knife lovers wanted, which was the drop point. And I handled that one, and it is super nice. Typically, beefy knives are not my go-to, nor are autos. I can't remember the last time I bought an auto. I guess probably my Microtech. Before that, I've definitely got a couple of autos, but that Launch 21 is a big, beefy auto for sure. And it's not my typical go-to, but I would love, the more I was thinking about it, I would love to have a big, beefy folder. Whether I take it for camping, hiking, whatever the case is, just to have something different and new in the rotation in the lineup. So that's an option that I'm looking at. Also looking at cut that close. Also looking at the Wee hyphen, because I've already got the Mini Mouse, which was my Grail knife, and when I got that, I was super stoked. And then there's just so many other ones up there, though, like stuff that brands I'd never heard of, or if I had, I'd never really looked into them a whole lot. But there was just so many cool knives to handle, and so much, way too much and not enough time. And I'm going to say something that may be a little bit controversial. I have a feeling that a lot of you will get it and understand and know that I'm not talking crap, but just expressing my preference. I have been to Smoky Mountain Knife Works twice now. The last 2 summers that we've gone down there for a family trip. And I've been to Smoky Mountain Knife Works both times, because you don't go to the Smoky Mountains and not go to Smoky Mountain Knife Works. It's just, kind of an unwritten rule, right? It looks pretty good. I like the black theme with it. Let's see. Really, does this thing need a lanyard? Not necessarily. I can get a good enough 3.5 finger grip on that. But like I said, I'm out here doing what I love to do, and just tinkering with my knives. So let's see what else we got that I can put something on. But anyways, I've been to Smoky Mountain Knife Works twice now, and it was incredible. It was like the like the theme park of knife stores, right? Like, it is just so overwhelmingly huge and incredible that, like, my ADHD brain was just like, what the hell do I do? Where do I go from here? What is happening? This is essentially what happened. Big dummy, I should have put that the other way. And it was just so overwhelmingly large. And both times I've been there, I still have not seen the whole store. I haven't. Like, I went there the first time I went and I walked around. The family was with me. It got hectic. It got crazy. Like, it's too much. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to get the knife I came here for and we're going to get out because this is insane. So I got my knife. What did I get there? Oh, that was my Victorinox hiker with the Bigfoot on it. So I got that one, got out of there. Then this past summer, excuse me, this past summer we went down there again because we loved the Smoky so much and had to go back, stay in a different area this time. Um, we went back, and this time I went there specifically to get the Boker Trapper that I picked up. Anyways, long story short, and where I'm getting with this is, I don't know if a snake knot will look good on this with this leather, but we're gonna give it a try and see how she does. That don't look right. I'm gonna mess with this a little bit more. Anyways, long story short, been to Smoky Mountain Knife Works, did it, got the t-shirt, all that good stuff. It's amazing. I will go back there every time we go down to the Smoky Mountains, whether it's once a year, whether it's not for a while. I will always go in there. Like, there's no reason not to if we're going to be that close, you know. But if I honestly had to choose, I would go to GP over Smoky Mountain just for the fact that, one, it is much less intimidating, and that's not a knock at either shop. Honestly, I have nothing bad to say about either shop. I have preferences and I have an opinion, but I have nothing negative whatsoever to say about either shop. So I just want to preface what I'm saying right now with that, because I've been going to GP for a long time, ever since I found out it was there. So, 3 or 4 years now. Did I not do this one right? And I have bought so much stuff from GP, like more than I would care to admit, and more than I'm going to say on here because my wife watches these videos. So, I've bought a lot there, and as I mentioned in my video with the shop tour and the storefront tour rather, they are so incredible over there. Everyone that I've ever interacted with in that shop is just so amazing and very knowledgeable and super friendly. Like, I've never had a bad interaction, a bad experience, a bad anything going into that store. So that is a huge shout out to GP, because they really are just incredible, down to earth, knife loving people, just like you would expect and hope to find in this community, right? I had no I won't say negative. I didn't have any negative experiences the 2 times I was at Smoky Mountain. But the only reason I would say any type of negative negative experience was because it was just so goddamn crowded. I mean, you were shoulder to shoulder in there because, one, you're in the Smoky Mountains. You're already just overwhelmingly packed by tourists. Me being one of them, I understand. But it was just, one, you're already in a super touristy area. Obviously, you're in the Smoky Mountains. Two, it's just such a big store and a big attraction. Like, even tourists that don't know anything about knives in the way that, our community would, the EDC community. You've got tourists going down there just to say they've been in the world's largest knife store, and they go in and buy whatever. The, not knocking on what, somebody might buy going in there, but it's just so damn crowded. I mean, crazy, stupid, ridiculously crowded. And so, like I've been trying to get to, if I had to choose which knife store I would go back to, even though they may not carry as many brands in store, I am 100% going back to GP knives every single time. Even if I lived within the same proximity of both shops, I'm going back to GP every single time because it's a much more personal and one-on-one experience. They've got 3, 4 people working there, up in the storefront at least at any given time. And as soon as you walk in, hey, how you doing? What can I help you find? And you're looking for anything particular. You walk into Smoky Mountain Knife Works, they've got tons of employees, obviously working every stand, every brand. And then they've got people walking around, people doing sharpening, people doing customizations and engravings, and they've got the whole kit and caboodle, right? I mean, they've got it looks pretty good. It matches kind of well with that G10 inlay or micarta inlay. Let me know what you guys think about that. This, I forget what size millimeter leather cord that is, but picked some up on Amazon, and so I wanted to do something different, and I think I got a little bit too small. I should have gone up maybe 1 or 2 millimeters, but looks pretty good on this one, especially being a smaller knife. Sorry, squirrel braining again. It is just so compact. Huge store, but so compressed and so dense of all the people that are there that it honestly, the second time I went this past summer, it almost was not enjoyable. It really wasn't. And I really hate to say that because it was so much fun. But I think, one, it wasn't enjoyable because I knew what I was going in to get. I saw it was in stock online. I got in there, fought my way through the crowds, and lo and behold, they don't have it. So I asked the guy behind the counter, and it was for my, where's she at? It was for my Boker Trapper that I picked up down there. Beautiful knife, absolutely. Not the exact one I wanted. Not the same steel. This one's D2. The one I was going for was 154 CM. But ended up with this one regardless. Still a beautiful knife. Still love it. But I knew exactly which one I was going in for. Get in there. It's out of stock. So I said, hey, this says it's in stock online. Do you guys have some like out in the warehouse or wherever you keep your stored knives or anything like that? No, we don't have any. I was like, can you double check for me? I was like, this is the exact model I was wanting. I showed them right there on my phone, like it says, in stock. I said, where do you all ship your knives from? All right here, our warehouse and all this and that. He's like, we ship it from right here. It's like, great. So it says it's in stock online. I know sometimes it can glitch or the inventory online might not keep up with what's going on in store. Can you please just double check for me? Like, this is the knife I knew I was getting coming in here. This whole drive down, this whole 8-hour drive down to the Smoky Mountains, I knew this was the knife I was coming in for. Do you mind double checking? Does his little tapping on the computer like he's pretending to help me out. And no, we don't have them. I'm like, so you're saying the knives ship from here? Yes. Okay, so if I get on my phone right now and I order it, what's going to happen next? He's like, well, it would go to our order center, get fulfilled by that department, and we would ship it out to you. I was like, and so where would they go to get that knife? Down in the warehouse. Where's the warehouse? Oh, it's right here. So why can't I just go down and get it? Or can you go down and get that or something? Like, dude just seemed really overwhelmed. I don't blame him. It was super crowded that day. Not a great interaction. And then somebody apparently stole something at the next booth over that they were looking at something and just kind of walked off with it. And the guy was distracted by somebody else. And so whole big deal and situation. So needless to say, I loved Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Like, it was overwhelmingly fun. I probably couldn't last more than an hour in there just because of how crazy it is. But it was a lot of fun, and I will go in there every single time, even if it's miserable. I mean, I got to go in there. GP Knives, like I said, is a much smaller storefront. They might not carry as many brands as Smoky Mountain Knife Works has, but they've got the brands I love and want to see. And again, I'll keep proximity out of this. I would still go in there because it's a much calmer and welcoming presence rather than a huge, just circus size touristy store that Smoky Mountain Knife Works is. And again, I don't want that to sound negative because I understand where it's at, you know, where the store is at, what they're trying to do, bringing in all the tourists that are already down there for the Smokies. I think I'd just prefer that smaller one-on-one shop experience, like JD that my brother and I talked to when we were up there. I really like how this looks, actually. Even though it's a simple stink knot, I think that little lanyard adds a little bit to this. Um, Even though it was just, it was me and my brother up there. It was super calm. We walked in there, even when a bunch more people showed up to GP, and JD was like, "Yeah, man," he's like, "This is kind of getting busy for a Saturday." Even what he was considering busy, there was like 7 people in there, and I'm like, "This is super nice," because yes, it was only him and one other guy working the storefront, with the 9 of us that were in there trying to help everybody. I could see why he would say that's busy because it's 2 to 9 and you're trying to help everybody and keep an eye on everything. But for us, we're just like, yeah, man, do your thing. We're gonna walk around and keep checking out more stuff. So just based off that experience and interaction alone, GP Knives was so great, and I really do highly recommend them. Um, their customer service has been awesome anytime I've had to interact with them. From what I understand, the original owner is retired, and his kids now run it. Um, and the original owner will still come in like once a week and do knife sharpenings and different things like that. From what I found out, and so I think that's really cool that it's a family owned shop, and I would love to get some more history behind GP Knives and you know the origins of that shop, and even talk to the owner or the original owner. Like, I would love that opportunity to just pick his brain. And they've got relationships with so many great brands. Chris Reeve, Benchmade, Spider Co. Like all these awesome knife makers that they have great relationships with, from what JD has told me in his experience and his time working there. It's just such a great shop. It really is. Well, I guess that's it for tonight. Did two lanyards. I got a leather one and a 550 cord lanyard. And that's about all I'm going to do tonight. So I'm going to go in and chill, watch some TV with my wife, and that's really all I got. So check out GP, get online, check out their store, give them a call if you have any questions or want to double check what's in stock. Like, they are so amazing and so friendly, and I cannot hype them up enough. So, and yeah, and if you're ever in Sevierville, Tennessee, go to Smoky Mountain Knife Works, because it is just absolutely mind-boggling how big that store is. So go check them out online, in the store, if you're ever local or close by. Either one of those is so much fun, and it is such an amazing thing to be part of the EDC community. And I am so glad to be here and a part of it, and now sharing some of my experiences and information with you guys. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.